Now we try to take up new things, we have goals, and sometimes we really struggle getting those goals done. Now they say that people can overestimate what can be done in a year versus a decade. Now I really recommend that people set goals for themselves because we can have an amazing life if we actually set some great goals. But reaching these goals can be a real struggle. Now, how can you get all of your goals reached? Hey, I'm Robyn. I help overwhelmed people and simplify their lives. So grab your tea and let's go. Now, before we can talk about the day-to-day getting these things in, we need to talk about goals overall. Now, one of the biggest problems I would say with people with goals is that they have trouble making them. They recognize that they want to reach something, but they don't actually reach the goal. Now, they don't even put the goal in their plan. They just always have this idea that they want to get it done, but they never do. I think many of us have goals, but we don't actually consider the steps it takes to get those goals done. And I think that this is one of the major things that holds us back. Now, they might just be a really big goal or maybe really vague and they don't think they can reach them. But let me tell you, if you have a goal and you follow these things, I can help you reach your goals. So for example, you want to declutter your house. This is a fantastic goal. Obviously, you know I'm going to support this one 100%. Now you think, well, you know what? I'm going to get that done this next month, or I'm going to do it in the spring, or I'll wait until the summer. You fail to recognize all of the other things that you need to accomplish in a day or in a month, and you don't actually set the time aside for these goals. So then we end up putting them off. Now, quite a lot of people are now being diagnosed with ADHD. A lot of adults, a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, beyond. Now, people with ADHD and other neurodiversities can have something called time blindness. Now, this is where people have trouble managing their time. They get lost in the things that they are doing, and they really struggle organizing their day and their schedule. And this can make accomplishing and meeting goals very difficult. The other problem is that people can often hyper focus on those goals and then let the rest of life slide. This is also very common with my buddies with ADHD. Now, it can feel like a never-ending battle and a struggle to get anything done. So how can you balance just getting the basics done and reaching your goals? Is it impossible? Absolutely not. I think that you should have goals for every single thing that you want to accomplish. I am such a fan of people creating the life that they need. You only live once. And as I have said before, I have seen far too many people's lives end early. But you need to be reasonable with your goals. I'm not saying have a goal for a bunch of different things and expect to get them all done this year, this month, whatever. You know me, I am the reasonable minimalist. So we are going to be reasonable with our goals. We don't want to add too many things to our lives that will stress us out. So let's break this down for a second here. Now you have several goals, and of course you want to be successful with your life also. So let's start with one of those goals. So this year you want to declutter your house. And not only this year, maybe you'd like to get it done in the next month or two, season, whatever. But you need a plan to get these goals accomplished. So what I want you to do, get out a piece of paper and I want you to write out your goal. Now it could be decluttering, maybe it's learning to ski, maybe it's starting a garden, whatever. I want you to write down your goal, and you can even write some other goals down too, but we're going to start with one goal right now. And also take note of certain things that need to be done in a certain season. So for example, it is March now, and you are wanting to learn to ski. Probably not the best time to start. We're hitting the end of the season, depending on where you are. What's great is you can be like, this is my goal for next year, but you can still plan it. You just have to make your plans for later. But say you want to do something sooner, like you want to declutter your house. We are going to look at your calendar. So every day, we only have a small amount of time to get many things done. So some days we have more scheduled than others, obviously. And we also have day-to-day chores, family obligations, a lot of stuff. Now, recently I did make a video on my day-to-day routine. I would put that at the end so you can watch. But part of that, I cover how I do my daily schedule. Now, I know that I probably have about an hour in the morning. And if I'm working from home, if I'm working out of the home, it's a little bit different. But when I'm also working from home, I have about an hour in the evening, and that is like spare time. So what I want you to ask yourself is, how much time do you have each day to get the extra things done? Is it 1 hour? Is it 2 hours? So for me, if I'm working from home, it's about 2 hours. That's a lot of time, actually, but you need to be realistic. You also need to ask yourself, how much time do you spend on social media? Now, a lot of us, we don't even recognize how much time we're wasting. You hear it all the time, that social media is like a total time suck. That's because it is. So you need to recognize where you're spending your time. If you want to meet your goals and you want to love life and you want to live life to the fullest, you need to remove the unnecessary things, or at the very least, put yourself on like a time limit. Now on the iPhone or whatever, you can actually like put down that you only want to spend like 30 minutes on Facebook or social media a day. Do what works for you. So daily, you want to get a few things accomplished. Some things like you need to get accomplished if you're going to be like living in a clean environment. And you also have new goals that you want to accomplish. So certain days are going to be really full. So those are days where we're not really going to work on a lot of our goals. Now for me as a shift worker, if I'm working out of those house, I'm working a 12-hour day. I'm not going to add anything extra into those days. But some days, like I said, if I'm working from home, I have extra time. Now, for some people, it's just the weekend, or it's a day where your kids have less activities and there's a less sort of chauffeuring those kids around. These are the days when you are going to start plugging in your goals. But hold your horses. We need to get specific here on exactly what's going to do. So let's take the goal list. I'm going to write down the list of things that need to be done. So if I put down like declutter bathroom, declutter kitchen, blah, blah, blah. No. We need to be more specific than that. Declutter bathroom, then we're going to put down declutter vanity, declutter toiletries, declutter under the sink, declutter cleaning products, right? So it's the same like if you were skiing, you'd be like, well, I have to make a rental plan. I have to plan lessons, all of this. Now, in order to reach your goals, you need to have a solid idea of what you need to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can add and subtract things, but by being realistic, it will be so helpful to you. Now, one of the biggest problems people have with accomplishing their goals is not being prepared for problems that might arise. Now, some problems can be procrastination, not having enough time, or lack of motivation. So to keep motivated, you need to keep your end goal in mind. Do you want a nicely decluttered house? Do you want to be carving up those slopes on your skis? You need to picture that end goal. Take some time and just imagine that. Now, the time problem can also be an issue with not planning. Transition can be a big thing. Now, switching from one task to another takes time, and it also takes energy. It takes mental energy, and you actually lose productivity when you're switching goals. So you need to be careful and be mindful when switching activities. You often need a break between things. So create a time and a place for transitions. It might be a good time for a little break, going outside, having a little stretch, having a drink of coffee, whatever. The other thing I want you to remember is not to schedule everything at once. Work bit by bit. So we have our long list of things that we need to do. I shouldn't say long list, but our list of things to do. And I like to assign certain tasks to certain weeks versus certain days. So I'll say that I'm going to declutter the bathroom during this week, and I will know the steps that I need to take. So once that week starts, I will then assign the actual days and the tasks for those days. So then I can actually just make sure that I have that scheduled. So as I said before, be reasonable with your time. Don't plan anything on those busy days. It is way too easy to overschedule yourself. So just be careful. Now, another thing is time blocking. I love time blocking. This is so great, especially for tasks at home. So say I am spending 1 hour cleaning, 1 hour decluttering. I will put that into my schedule. I will drop the kids off at school. I will come home and then I will spend a little bit of time cleaning. I don't know if it would be a whole hour, but say an hour cleaning. And then later I will have that scheduled in. So I will have my time blocks. And again, check out the video about my schedule. So the implementation is huge. You need to be very disciplined. Pick a start day and then start. Guard your goals with ferocity and intention. You are doing this for you. And I want you to revisit your goals and your reasons for why you want to reach those goals often. And then make sure that you follow through and reward yourself. So this is how I structure my day-to-day schedule. And I hope it's very helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.